Hello, come on in. I wanted to take a few minutes to give you some feedback on your 1 Minute Me video. I'm going to focus the critique on three main areas: your use of images, your audio track, and your use of titles. I thought you had a nice selection of images. Rather than using the PicCollage app, where your images are small, I'd like to suggest going to the original images on your device and pull the full large size images so that you can make them full frame. This will help to highlight each of the areas you showcase about yourself in the video. If you aren't able to access the original images, I thought you could go into the PicCollage and see if you can scale each image using the effects controls in Adobe Premiere to make the image larger without it becoming distorted. Then center it on the screen and mask it out, or mask out the other images that show up if they are showing up. Also, I'd like you to dissolve between the images rather than scrolling through them like you're doing here. This will allow us to spend 2 to 3 seconds with each full screen image. And then finally, when you get to the end of your video, I'd like you to fade to black rather than cutting to black like you do. This will bring your video to a natural visual conclusion. With regard to your voice track, I thought it was both informative and entertaining. I particularly liked, let me get to it right about here.
Real me is a soft-spoken introvert. I don't speak unless you come speak to me first. I'm a sleep enthusiast.
I thought that part was so entertaining. I love that you're a sleep enthusiast. What a great way to describe liking to sleep. I'd like you to practice your read a few more times before you actually record it. I know you might have been a little bit nervous, and that's normal. So slow your read down, and when you hit a period in the voiceover script, you have to give a non-verbal pause. You actually have to slow it down and stop talking when you hit the period so that you can pause and let your listener process the information that you're giving us. Finally, you need to add one more sentence at the end of your voiceover here to let us know that you are done with your video. So something as simple as, I hope you know a little bit more about me now than you did a minute ago. That would also give us the clue that we are at the end of your video. I like that you use music in your video, but it also needs to be a little bit louder. Music should be somewhere between -18 and -24 decibels, where your voiceover should be between -6 and -12 decibels. With regard to your titles, I'm just going to look right in this area here. As you can see, the red text shows up just fine on a black background. However, it is a little bit hard to read on some of these other backgrounds, especially here where it's a greenish, brownish background. I would recommend that you put your text over a shape, maybe one that's colored in a gray or a off-white, so that there's some contrast between the red font and the background. And that might help make that font color stand out a little bit. But you also need to know that red is sometimes a hard color to work with in video. It really does bounce and tear quite a bit. So you might have to change that color altogether. Also, watch your spelling up here. This is the name of a university, and it's an abbreviation. So these letters here should all be capitalized. You are more than welcome to consider the feedback that I gave you and revise your video. I'd be happy to look at it again and provide you with additional feedback when you're done with your revisions. I really am glad that you came in to talk to me today, and I hope we can have more conversations about your work this semester.